Go.
This is Morten Reitzow from English TV. It's an honor for me today to be your moderator and be your kind of host for this Tecnau Spring Forward event. And for the American audience participating here, I can rest assured we have practiced in Europe this morning. So this is the second time that we're doing this event together with CANON. And it was a blast this morning. So you have a lot of good things to look forward to see during this session here. And of course, I would like to start welcoming the people that you're going to be entertained with for the next minutes. We have Jeff from Tecnau, and we have Ed from CANON Solutions America. And Jeff, why don't you start introducing yourself for the audience a little bit more before we talk about some questions I have for you.
Sure, I'm Jeff Kewen. I'm the president of Tecnau Americas and Asia Pacific. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending the Tecnau Spring Forward virtual event.
Fantastic. And Ed, I haven't seen you today. I saw you the other day, and you claim that you have a good tent because of your that you're having a grass that you need to take care of. Can we see you, and can you introduce yourself a bit, please?
Video. Oh, you can see me. Okay. So yes, Morten, I do cut my own grass, and therefore I'm very tan, unlike some people who accuse me of playing golf too much. My golf game doesn't show that. I am Ed Jansen. I am the vice president of marketing for CANON Solutions America, production print division down in Boca Raton, Florida. Thank you for having us.
Fantastic. A great introduction, both of you gentlemen. So it's a good start already. And we're getting attendees coming into the show. So I think we could dig directly into some of the things that we really would like to know. Jeff, I was thinking before we talk about the technology and all this wonderful things we're going to talk about, why did you decide to do a Tecnau Spring Forward event? I mean, haven't there been enough of all these virtual events the past year?
Well, there surely has been a lot of virtual events. You know, over the last year and a half, everyone's had to adapt to new ways of doing business. I mean, COVID is such a terrible event around the world. We've had to adapt, as well as our partner CANON, to new ways of doing business. So, as you said, virtual events have become the norm. They're quite successful. We do plenty of virtual events every day. It's become a new way for us to engage with our customers and with potential customers. And we're looking, it's become clear to us that, you know, in the past, we were able to go to either a Tecnau site or a CANON site somewhere around the world and do an end-to-end demonstration of the capabilities of the printer and the pre and post processing. Today's world, that's not possible. So it's been obvious in these demonstrations that customers are really looking for a way to be able to see an end-to-end solution and experience all the things that go with that end-to-end solution. And so that's the reason for this event today, is to be able to see an end-to-end solution with a focus on commercial print.
And I can't help think about how funny it is also from the perspective that, as we said just before the broadcast was started, we are from all over the world, and this is also about being in a collaborative environment, right? Because I mean, some are from Italy, some from the US. I'm myself is from Denmark, and you can hear my accent is not obviously not American, but this is a great opportunity. How much we miss to see each other in live situation. This is also an opportunity, and I can tell for the audience that what you will see is really, really interesting from a technology perspective. And Jeff, that leads me to the next thing I would like to ask you about. Today's main topic is rethink commercial print. Can you talk a little bit about what trends you see in the commercial print market today?
Sure. You know, if you look at the world today, it's really an on-demand environment. I mean, customers expect demand, we use the word, really on-demand fulfillment in a personalized experience. You really need to be able to provide those things to be not only competitive, but relevant. And you see that across the globe in many different types of industries today. You see it in the entertainment industry with on-demand video. You pick a video, it shows in your house in seconds. Streaming music. You see the same thing with e-commerce and retail. I always every day I see Amazon, UPS, Federal Express delivering packages to my house. It probably says something about me. You see that in manufacturing even. And, you go ahead and we submit drawings to printers that print our parts in 3D. All on-demand driven industries, that personalized experience is critical. It's not unique to the printing industry, right? In the late 90s, on-demand print, on-demand books was quite popular, still hugely popular today. Well, that technology has really gone throughout the entire print industry. And that trend has not slowed at all. If anything, it's accelerating. And if you look at the investments that Tecnau and Canon are making today, we see that trend not only continuing, but accelerating. You have huge investments in resources, effort, customers' engagement being made in new technologies to support enhanced print quality on the inkjet side, media flexibility, flexibility of application, personalization. On the pre and post side, you can see that we also support media flexibility. We support media today that we never would have dreamed would even be part of the portfolio several years ago. Same time, flexibility in solutions in order to make solutions more cost effective. And then finally, what's really coming to the market is automation and deterministic settings, all in an effort to support that on-demand and personalized experience that all of our customers are demanding. So today we're hoping to show you some of that.
And talking about showing, you have not been resting on your laurels during the pandemic, because this is also kind of an introduction to your newly built Technical Innovation Center, Tecnau, what's it called? Experience Center, yeah.
Experience Center. That's right. It's timing is everything. It's been planned for a while. But yes, we've opened an international experience center in our facility outside of Milan. It features 10 different solutions. And we're going to give you an overview, a brief overview, very high level of those today. And what we're going to do is really do a deep dive. And there's 8 of those that are continuous, 2 are cut sheet. We're going to do a deep dive into 3 of those today, showing output printed by Canon to give you that end-to-end solution experience. So we're excited, and we can't wait to show you what both ourselves and Canon have to offer.
Super great. And Ed, I take that you are so excited as well. And when Jeff was talking about all these on-demand things, from film to music to 3D printer thing, does that resonate with anything that Canon might be doing these years with how you see on-demand digital print?
Absolutely. And once again, I just wanted to say thank you to our friends at Tecnau for allowing us to be a part of such an amazing event. And it does resonate, and investment resonates, and how you focus your business at the important times, at pivotal times. And this pandemic has been a pivotal time for the Canon organization, for our customers and the end users. And it was really interesting to just hear Jeff state they have their brand new Customer Experience Center, and I'm standing in our brand new Customer Innovation Center, where you look at forward-thinking companies, they invest, they build not only a strategy, but the products required to drive into the future at these times. So we're very, very focused right now on how we leverage all the capabilities of Canon, tremendous R&D resources, tremendous investment power, and bring forth the products like we have in the last year. You look at the ColorStream 8000 just recently announced. You look at the VarioPrint iX product and the ProStream 1800, which was also announced last year. That all of these things are just the investments that can then be leveraged to drive technology and innovation that our customers require.
Fantastic. I can't help think, when we look at, I mean, both, one thing is innovation centers and another thing is the technology, and also understanding the business that both you and Jeff just spoke about. I can't help think about that also when you look at how commercial printers today are operating. Is this something where you see that it has, I mean, is this ready for the future at current time, or how should we see digital print compared to, I mean, I think in the past it was maybe a little bit silos. You had your transactional kind of thing, and then you had like your analog presses, and now everything is merging and melting together. How do you see that?
Yeah, so there's a distinct difference in what's happening, especially in the commercial print space, and it's, that market is so pivotal right now for Canon, not only from a investment perspective, but a focus perspective. Digital printer, digital and non-digital, conventional technology, all of that is under severe pressure right now. There continues to be consolidation in the market. The pandemic has accelerated that type of activity. And as you start to consider shorter run lengths, more variability, expectations of turn times to be much faster, all of that puts tremendous pressure on commercial printers. But Morten, as I said earlier, these are the times that really differentiate the people that invest in technology. And as you see with the technologies that are going to be shown by both Tecnau and Canon today, these are technologies that take you into the future, that leverage the performance and uptime and capabilities that allow us to penetrate markets that we've never penetrated before with digital inkjet.
I can't help think about that. Always when I talk to you guys, both from Tecnau and from Canon, I always think that you also invest in something that is very important. You invest in the innovation centers, of course, but you also invest in the market, because I think there's like this tremendously important thing that you invest also in the future of print. Somebody's sometimes challenging whether print can exist in the future. And that leads me also to, I mean, the people that have registered today is, of course, about learning a lot of these technologies and what is possible. And some of them may already have a strategy in place. And for those who haven't one yet, how do you see progressing of that kind of strategy, sustainable strategy for their own print business? How should people go on with that?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we do, Morten, that is critical is when you look at a commercial printer, there really needs to be preference in the market and specificity in the market. So how technologies are used, those technologies, especially when they're emerging technologies like inkjet, they need to be aligned to what print buyers are looking for. They need to be understood by the print buyer market so that we could drive that activity and make it easier for the commercial printer. So Canon has recently released the Canon Insights report, which half of the game is to print, the other half of the game is to be relevant and to drive a message and to drive the level of expectations and branding that is expected. And what you see in this report is a very clear definition of what is happening in the market, what is happening with a shift to digital, but where is print relevant? Where does print really drive the message? How is print most effective? And those are the things that help a commercial printer understand how to best leverage technology to get the most highest competitive advantage possible and serve the end user and the customer in the best possible way.
And one thing is saying, another thing is showing, right?
Yes, sir.
So I was just wondering if we should take it to the next level. I think Jeff, that you might be interested in showing some of the equipment that you have developed over the years and now is available in the Tecnau experience center, and then we will afterwards move towards the CANON so we can see how that works together. So why don't we just go to the next level and see a presentation? And this it's not a PowerPoint presentation, the audience. It is real and it's live, right?
Right. And I think we'll turn it over to Pete Dolphus and let Pete take it from here.
Thanks, Jeff. Hello, my name is Pete Dolphus, VP of Sales for Tecnau Americas. Thanks for joining us today. I'm proud to welcome you to our just opened 16,000 square foot Tecnau Experience Center adjacent to our headquarters in Ivrea, Italy. As you enter the warm and inviting lobby, we have a meeting area with refreshments as well as individual private offices, so you can stay current with your day-to-day business activities while on site as our guest. As we proceed out into the demonstration area, you'll notice we have a diverse assortment of Tecnau's industry-leading solutions set up for customer demonstrations, both virtual and in person. Here you're viewing our Stack 1212 system that processes B2 sized input sheets into finished product sizes as small as 4x6 with full bleed edges, as well as job offsetting and ease of operator handling. As we pan to the right, you'll see the new Revolution 50 series high-speed rotary cutting solution. Today it's configured with a 22-inch unwinder, a buffer, an automated stream folder, dual knife rotary cutter, and 30-inch vacuum belt stacker. The platform has ultimate application flexibility for processing anything and everything from 27-pound offset Bible applications to 30-inch long pharmaceutical jobs to 4-up 12-point cardstock direct mail pieces with edge bleeds, to one-off cut sheet and plow-folded book blocks for perfect binding, and much more. Equipped with an optional bypass bridge, it can also be used to feed single sheets in line to a signature folder or a saddle stitcher. There's a quick glimpse of the Libra 800 binding system that we'll come back to shortly, but now you're looking at our zero-speed splicing Roll 40 solution, where the dual unwind U40 with splicing tower and buffer, in combination with the dual rewind R40, can essentially make your Canon press a non-stop production workhorse, adding up to 20% productivity versus running it with a single unwind and rewind. We developed it with growth in mind, so if you start with our single U9 and R9 winders, we can integrate and repurpose those into a U40 R40 configuration, continuing to utilize your purchased hardware assets. The system also showcases one of our TC1550 HS processors. The processor family can do dynamic perforating, scoring, and punching for various applications, from spiral or coil binding to 3-hole punch, and even corner punching and shaping, all with page-to-page variability at speeds up to 800 feet per minute. Here's a closer look at the Rewind R40. The system can be configured to automatically recognize a splice and switch rewinder rolls, maintaining a 1 input roll to 1 output roll relationship to keep jobs organized and sequenced, or it can be manually triggered by the operator or even by a barcode. Next is our TC7000 based Photo Ready system. The 7000 platform is a lower cost of entry servo-driven guillotine cutting platform. It excels at producing laminated heavyweight book covers, heavy multi-up cardstock applications, photo prints, and other types of specialty work, but can also be used for applications as simple as 2-up slip merge statement processing. One of its great features is that it can be converted from a dual knife chip out cutter to a single knife cross cutter with a quick and easy change of the knife cartridge. The same goes for the slitting racks when changing between different multi-up applications and single knife versus gutter slitting. Now you see the industry flagship Libra 800 bookmaking system, which takes pre-printed rolls and processes them into perfect bound and trimmed books. It has input options for 2-up slip merge, 2-up, 3-up, and 4-up plow folded inputs, and manual feeding stations for work that comes off other production lines, like a cut sheet press. It can also produce 3 different cover types: regular soft cover, a gate-folded cover, and even custom manufacture a combined end sheet cover that is bound onto the book block in preparation for case binding. I'll be taking you on a deeper dive into this solution later in the session. Here you see one of our newest offerings, our Robo, which is a robotic stacking solution that automatically transfers output from the conveyor onto a pallet or into a material handling cart for ease of transport to a secondary finishing operation. It's processing output from a revamped 500 series cutting system. Our 500 series platform offers mid-speed rotary single knife cutting up to 450 feet per minute and has been such a staple in our product line that we've freshened up the platform, offering a 22-inch option that's more pertinent to today's inkjet presses. In the same general speed category as the 500 series is our Stack 2320 system. This is a dual knife rotary cutting offering, chip out capability for customers in the 420 foot per minute press speed range, like the ColorStream 6900, who need substrate capability up to 250 GSM. We'll now return to the Revolution 50 cutter system. We took what's great about the 20 series platform with respect to ease of use, application flexibility, etc., and made it awesome. Everything is more robust. Substrate range and stack lengths are expanded. We've utilized new drives and controls that support IoT connectivity and much more. With that brief introduction, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Benner, who will take you through the new cutter platform in detail.
Pete, thank you. This is Steve Benner. I've worked with Pete now for 30 years. We worked together, and I don't know if everybody picked up on it, but he's the new VP of Sales. Certainly glad I haven't burned bridges over the years, or I don't think I have. I can't remember any, but congratulations, Pete. So I'm going to take you through the Revolution 50, and this is our really the answer in the marketplace right now for commercial print for providing cutting in line to today's printers, being the Canon ProStream, which is where this roll was produced right here, as well as even the Canon 8000. It's running at 525 feet per minute. So Tecnau has invested millions of dollars over the last few years, as well as quite a lot of man time in here coming up with the cutter. It's very flexible as far as the myriad of paper types that can be thrown at it, as well as the speeds. We can easily print the speeds up to 600 feet a minute. And we've got some options there with the certain stacker options that can even go north of that speed right there. So we're going to show today an application. It's running a SAPI Magno plus gloss 150 GSM. It's going to be a one-up application. We're going to take this the stacks afterwards and then send them over to Poing, and they're going to go ahead and process it into a folded book right there. But this is a one-up application. We can do 2-ups, we can do 3-ups, we can do 4-ups, we can do a slip merge, so where you actually take one side and merge it over the next to come up with one pile. So the unwinder there, we can go up to 600 feet a minute, 40 to 300 GSM forms. We've got multiple unwinders. Pete briefly showed you the splicer unwinder, as well as U20 R20 to go up to over 800 feet a minute. This is our buffer right here, our B50 buffer. We've made larger rollers, more buffering, and faster speed to keep up with today's speeds. But that's basically the interface that allows everything in the line to keep on running if you stop the printer or you stop the cutter to deliver right there. So we've got web alignment in there, and you can justify that left, right, or center just to make sure everything keeps aligned. Everything is tight web now with this system, which allows us to run the myriad of paper applications that are thrown at us. If you notice right there, he's doing some quick adjustments, and you can do that normally with the covers closed. We blocked the interlocks right there just for the demo. Those two angled bars right there, that's where you would do the slip merge. The slip merge is now attached to the cutter system right there. You can easily direct the paper either way. He's doing some adjustments right there. You can move your 2D barcode readers or your top of form marks, whatever you're reading right there. Just fine tune the knife, whatever you're doing from the outside. The operators absolutely love this because they don't have to stop everything and restart while they're adjusting anything. It's all very easily controlled. If you see the two cross, those are our cutter blades right there, the metal cylinders right there. They're obviously covered right now. This is our two cutter system. It's our C52 to take a strip across the web for flush lines if the inkjet printer puts down a flush line or a bleed. And then you can also add in there if you want any kind of vertical slits to do your 2-ups, 3-ups, 4-ups, and those can be gutters or single slits. We're showing our S51 stacker right here, which is our newest stacker that is actually using vacuum belts, and we can go up to 30-inch long sheets with this. Now we can cut longer sheets, but that's our longest stacker that we really do. We just have to have another way of stacking, shingling them out, or send them into another device like a another device like a signature folder, something like that, of which we can easily do with this system. Pete touched on it. We can not only stack, but we can cut and send it into a signature folder. We can send it right into a saddle stitcher, like an IBIS. IBIS tends to be one of the biggest ones that we deal with there, or perfect binders. We've done all the above. And you can actually have multiple outputs coming off the same printer, the same cutter at any time. So you could have right now you're doing stacks, and then you can switch it over to a saddle stitcher. We're going to show this in faster motion right here. And while we're doing that, I'm just going to talk about some of the accounts that we've actually installed over the last year with these with this line right here. So one is actually online to a ProStream. It's a very large healthcare company, world renowned. Can't mention their name because they've asked, but they actually produce a lot of booklets. So if you go in there as a patient and you're going to go see various doctors, professionals, they will give you a booklet that'll say, okay, meet at 8 a.m. with this doctor, just your whole itinerary. Here's what you can eat. Here's what you can drink. Here's, all that, just a big instruction booklet. They had a ranch of cut sheet printers, and they've been looking for years to replace that. Nothing had the quality or the reliability or the robustness that they needed to really get all these done until they saw the ProStream. They liked ProStream, and they picked, obviously, the Tecnau equipment. So we've got online to their system, to the ProStream. We've got this that we see right here. So the roll, cut, the stack. We also have an IBIS inline, which is a saddle stitcher, so they can direct it to do the saddle stitch work. We also have perfing, so any kind of vertical or horizontal perfing that customer can do. Working real well for them, okay? Next customer to talk about is a in-house direct mailer. They went with this cutter system because of the printer speed that they needed, as well as the application flexibility. They had just tons, and when I say tons, hundreds of pre-printed forms that they were having to use because they were using black and white before. They replaced just last year with our Cutter 52, and I remember going, and they didn't even know how many pre-printed forms they had. They kept on, we went to walk through the warehouse, every time we go turn around the corner, they said, oh, geez, I forgot about this. So we just print these every month or 3 months or even annual. Bottom line, they replaced all of that warehouse full of pre-printed forms when they put our system in, and justified within a year the whole entire line. So with the color capabilities of today's printers, it's what we dreamed of like 30 plus years ago in our industry. It's here. So that was another customer. Another one also had the speed requirements. They're a commercial printer. This operation does more statements than anything. On their long run, they print roll to roll with our perfer, and then with the short to some medium runs, they actually use this cutter that we're looking at here, and then feed cut sheet inserts. Another company that went in last year was a big ballot printer, and they actually put the same system in, only they have the splicer unwinders on the front, and those unwinders can actually pick 2 different kinds of rolls. So it's almost like you have an extra drawer on a cut sheet printer. Now you have multiple stocks that you can have loaded at any one time, and the printer will say, okay, I need roll number 1, and then it needs another form, and it says I need roll number 2. So pretty cool. With continuous form, you now have the capability of having a couple of stocks. We've put quite a few in commercial printers, print postcards, posters. We've got another company that's putting a couple in here this year that's replacing a Canon 3900 with the Canon 8000. And with that, they need the speed of that 525 a minute. This cutter system allows you to do that. Then there's another one. I've got 15 offline systems to the printers, and they do church bulletins. It's a pretty cool application. They saddle stitch most of those. And this year in particular with COVID, obviously the church attendance is way down. One time there's pretty much nobody going. Most of the churches actually still wanted some bulletins sent because they would send them to, you know, certain members of the congregation, or they would have them in the lobby. People would stop by and pick them up. So having gone digital within the past 5 years, this customer really gained a lot on their competition. So the digital that they pretty much gone to allowed them to do that. They kept on buying more and more of our systems. So right now we're seeing the monitor right here. We call this our Tecnau Connect. And that allows both the operators as well as your management, anybody that wants to see what's printing, when, where, what kind of errors have occurred. For example, if you're waiting for a roll of paper, it'll say, okay, I was waiting 3 minutes for this roll, or I was waiting 3 hours for this roll. You can see what errors have occurred and if there's any consistency. A lot of really good production environment. So with that same thing, we can have online documentation, online monitoring, remote diagnostics. So Tecnau provides 7 day a week, 24-hour a day backup service and support to whoever's maintaining it, whether you're self-maintaining it, Canon's maintaining it, third-party maintaining it, whatever. We provide backup service support through this remote diagnostics. We can actually dial in and see the equipment and understand what's happening, almost like what being there. So we can help out with 99%. Oh my God, here's Mr. Roboto right here. Pete touched on that real quick. And when I first saw this, and I haven't had the pleasure yet of putting one in, I think this is just the beginning of a whole product line right here. It reminded me of the stick song, Mr. Roboto. So I'm calling it Mr. Roboto here until we have a name for it. And I looked up here earlier today, that was a song from 1983. And it says, I'm not a robot without emotions, or the lyrics from the song. I'm not what you see. I've come to help you with your problems so we can be free. And that basically sums it up right here, that it just frees up your operators to do other things. It's not going to be taking a smoke break or a coffee break or the back gets hurt or anything like that. We actually have the capability with this to just keep on running. And I see this at the very beginning. This is just simply unloading the stacks. You can put that into, you know, a cart, or for the demonstration, we're just putting it on a table right here. So at any rate, I appreciate your time. Tecnau's got more systems installed on the high-speed printers in the digital market than anybody else. I've been here for 30 years. Jeff Ewan's been here going on 30 years. Pete's been here for 30 years. We're at about the average tenure of our company. We've got a very stable company. We've got a great product line. And with that, and probably just equally as important, we've got unsurpassed service and support, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. A lot of experience, a lot of expertise. We're here to help in whatever ways that you need, and would love to work with all of you. That is pretty cool, this robot. So with that said, I'm going to introduce Jeff Seringer from Canon.
Okay. Thank you very much, Steve. Well,
He's got the
welcome to
easy
the
piece. He's just got to put the ink down on the page now that we've finished it.
That's right.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Steve. So welcome to the Customer Innovation Center here in Boca Raton, Florida. My name is Jeff Seringer, and I am the product market manager for the ProStream 1000. You know, here in our Customer Innovation Center, customers get to experience and discover the Canon print technologies that we have to offer, plus what we can offer with our partners, such as Tecnau. And also like the ProStream 1000. You know, it's a web-fed inkjet press that allows customers to print 26,000 12 by 18 4x4s per hour. Or let me put it in another way. How about 60,721 6x9 postcard printed on a 9-point stock? And then utilizing Tecnau to cut them to size. That is a solution. You know, the ProStream is a high-speed web-fed inkjet press. And there's three things we look at. We call them the 3 Ps: performance, passion, and then print. The performance, being able to provide one market-leading uptime and higher productivity onto a 3S GSM stock. passion, being able to have a wider print width, and media versatility, like a grade 3 stock, and an improved drying capabilities like our flotation dryer, so that you can run more applications and drive more profit. And then passion, or then print. Having the highest print quality in its class with vibrant colors and eye-popping images that are consistent. You know, it strikes a unique balance that includes high productivity, superior print quality, and media versatility. You know, these capabilities help close the gap between offset and electrophotographic toner technologies. The ProStream enables the general commercial printer a transition that will allow them to take non-profitable work and print it on the ProStream and make it profitable. You can choose the technologies, whether it's ink, web offset or inkjet, but from a quality standpoint, it's going to be tough to tell on the ProStream. And then you combine that with the Tecnau solution, and you've got a winning combination. Being able to take the Revolution 50 and get maximum productivity combined with your applications and a high degree of automation. You know, here next to me, I have a number of applications. I have postcards in various sizes. I have catalogs. I have magazines, high gloss magazines. And I also have premium direct mail postcards. You know, the ability to be able to print these gives customers a unique advantage from a productivity standpoint, but also from a quality standpoint. Today, what we're doing is we are actually printing a large sheet that gives you the capability to print something like this, which you've seen printing today. So let's take a look at what this application is running on the ProStream, which is on a Verso Sterling 148 GSM stock at 436 feet per minute. So let's start right here. The first thing we are doing is we're doing what's called a web sweep. So we're actually sweeping the paper before it comes into our printer. We want to make sure it's nice and clean. And based on that, the next step is what we call a tensioner. This tensioner allows us to condition the paper in a way to stretch that paper. This allows you to run those grade 3 papers, which will save you about a 20% savings on paper. So it's very flexible. So with this tensioner, we're going to make it very tight so that right before the ink goes on it. If you notice, we do not start printing right away. Kind of like a web set, heat set press. So we want to make sure that we get this paper to where it needs to be in order to give you the best image quality possible. As I step down in here, you know, being able to run a 22-inch roll or a 21.8-inch printable area all the way up to 60 inches. Having that kind of ability really expands the applications that you are able to run. What I see here is this is what's called a glider. So this glider is making sure that the paper, as it goes into and right before the print module, we want to make sure it's perfectly aligned with the print engines. So this will steer the paper into the proper location seconds before it is printed. Now, I want to pay particular attention to this heat sensor down here. Now, this is part of our flotation drying system. And what we're doing is we are keeping track of the temperature of the paper as we are printing. It is totally automatic, and it will adjust based upon the paper temperatures throughout the print run. I'm going to touch more on our flotation dryer here in just a few minutes. So here is our print module. And with our print module, what is going to be taking place here, the heads right now are resting in a service liquid and they're currently capped. We want to make sure that we ensure the quality of the print nozzles. And right before the print nozzles go into action, we will do what's called a purge and a wipe. This purge and a wipe activates every single nozzle inside the print heads. Based on that, what we're going to do is we're going to wipe them down and make sure they're ready for printing. We have all the colors, just like you would in an offset press, YMCK. But the other thing that typically is not in the press is called color grip. And with color grip, we have the ability to condition the paper. This gives you the flexibility in order to print on a multitude of different types of papers that are out there. So with that type of flexibility with color grip, what that allows us to do is that allows us to make sure that when the ink is laid down on that sheet of paper, it stays in that location. It grips the ink. And from that standpoint, it allows us to print millions and millions of dots per second and give you the type of resolution that you're looking for in a high-speed print engine. As you can see, it's going through the purge and the white is going to finish this up, and it's going to start moving forward. Now, the first thing that we are going to be doing is we're going to create what is called a knack sheet. This knack sheet is, I have a video that kind of describes it. And based upon this video, what it is doing is it's going to look at the image quality of the test target that we're going to run through. We read it with a camera system, a scanner, and it's going to look for any jet outs that might have happened. And if that does, it's going to correct them on the fly. So it's going to detect them for any of the anomalies and then make the correction. And at that standpoint, it will start making that correction and take off from there. This is totally automatic and your operators do not have to worry about it. So the other part of the capabilities of this, the ProStream 1000 is the heat flotation area. The heat flotation area underneath here is a dryer. It's paper is actually floating on air. And I have another video to kind of show you how this works. So what you see here is as the paper goes through the flotation dryer, the paper is dried with alternating heaters. It's blowing air around the paper. And so it's also alternating the top and the bottom so you don't have any hot spots on that paper as we are printing. So you can make sure that you get the proper quality that you're looking for and the paper is at the right temperature as it's running throughout the entire machine. As the image is dried, it will then come back through the machine. And then what will happen is we get into what's called a turnover area. As you can see here, we are printing production. The images are printing here, and inside here, you're going to see the paper. It's what we have a chilling roller. These chilling rollers, after the paper is dried on the first side, it goes through these chilling rollers. The paper is then turned over, and based on the turnover, we start printing the second side. Sometimes you just gotta let the machine speak for itself. So from that standpoint, what we've been able to do, it will then move into Tower 2. And with Tower 2, it will repeat this exact same process that we had just talked about. If I may have that magazine. So based on the magazine here, this is a loose binding magazine. It's bound with an elastic band. So you can very easily unfold it and you can separate it from large posters. You know, with the ProStream and the Tecnau, it's a powerful solution where it gives you flexibility and reliability, either online or offline, with a high degree of workflow automation. You know, the ProStream 1000 checks all the boxes when you're looking at productivity, image quality, and media versatility. It enables you to say yes to any print job that walks in and comes into your operation, and allowing you to drive more volume and more profit. You know, here at Canon, we continue to innovate. You know, it's just like our next product, which is our flagship of the color stream that we have just announced. And with me today is my colleague, Lucy Perez. And Lucy is going to show you how we can elevate efficiencies and we can accelerate growth with the new Color Stream 8000. Lucy, you want to take it away?
Thank you, Jess. Greatly appreciate it. So my name is Lucy Perez here, and I'm the product manager for the Color Stream series of inkjet presses. And you may have heard the news, not only from Jess, but hopefully on the wire and all your print publications. about this exciting introduction of the ColorStream 8000 series. So you are seeing it here first live from our Innovation Center here in Boca. So what I'd like to do is really first, talk about the opportunities that commercial printers have. Commercial printers print an array of different types of applications: books, magazines, catalogs, as well as direct mail and some transactional business communication. And what I'd like to show you by the applications that I have here on the table is an array of the different applications that the ColorStream 8000 is able to produce. Whether you're talking about direct mail in the form of self-mailers, which nicely illustrates our longer signature lengths that are possible on the press, to books, an array of other types of communications that you see here, as well as brochures. But today in particular, what we're going to talk about and what we're going to be running is our photo book. This particular application, in combination with the ColorStream, which prints the inside part of the book, so you can see, really just showcases what we brought with new innovation to really deliver amazing print quality, stunning images, crisp text, and just sharp detail. This particular application, in conjunction with the Tecnau Libra 800, really helps to demonstrate what's possible with commercial printers in delivering books of one. So let's just start from the beginning. First off, what I'd like to do, we bring paper in with our unwinder, our D9 unwinder. As paper moves into the press, what we're going to do is open this specific area. This is a system applies tension to the press through the use of some tensioning rollers, and then the paper is guided through the press with the use of our steering mechanism. In this additional area here, what I want to point out with the use of a video is our print head cleaning system. What you're going to see in that video is basically what is now an automated process. Originally, that process would necessitate an operator to actually clean those print heads at a once per shift sequence. But now, those specific that specific maintenance is actually automated. And so what you see in that video is a lubricant being sprayed on the print heads, and then a wiper blade is going to gently wipe away any type of excess ink, as well as that lubricant, thereby ensuring that you've got clean print heads that are going to deliver consistent, stunning print quality. All right, so let's move on to the next area of the press, which is the heart and soul of our press. And in this area, this is where we actually have our print heads, which are in the engaged mode. If they were not engaged, they would actually be back to my left, where the cleaning process would occur. So the first thing that I want to point out is specifically our new integrated web cleaning system. So by the show of our next video, what we're going to highlight is specifically what this is doing. That integrated web cleaner is right before the printing process begins. That printing process brings the cleaning process right before the point of printing. And so what you see in the video is basically a vacuum system removing paper dust from the paper. It really affords the ability to be able to run recycled and low cost papers on the press. So once the surface has been cleaned, then it proceeds into the printing station area so that we can begin putting ink on paper. So let me talk a little bit about some of the specifications of the press. So first off, we've expanded our paper media range on the lower end, being able to run papers on a standard weight range from 40 to 150 GSM, or 27-pound text up through 110-pound text. Now, we do have an expanded media range going from a little lighter than 40 GSM all the way up to 9 points based on media testing. So this is where a lot of our innovation is located. We have new 1200 DPI print heads that work in conjunction with our new ink to deliver that stunning quality. Our droplet size has gotten smaller, and combined with our DigiDot multi-level technology, which basically works with our SRA controller to determine the types of images that are going to be printed or text, which will ensure that you are laying down the appropriate droplet size based upon what is needed to deliver those crisp text, stunning skin tones, and smooth radiance impact tones. Again, delivering that consistent print quality. The other thing that I want to point out is our new e-set. Our new e-set enables operators to be able to load ink while the press is running. It enables our e-set safe technology, which ensures that operators are not going to confuse the ink bottles and where they reside. And we've also enlarged the containers to ensure that we have the capability to be able to support the faster speeds of the press. So let's talk about speed. The press is actually available in 2 different speed configurations and can print up to 525 feet per minute, which is over 2,290 letter impressions per minute. Very fast, and we've got the post processing to be able to support as far as us to be able to print these types of applications with the press. So now that we've gotten ink on paper, we're going to go ahead and continue to move on to our drying process. Our drying process actually is also an adaptable technology, and what you see here is what we've added is a third drying saddle. It's still a contact drying process, applying radiant heat onto the sheet, but we've added more controls into the drying technology to be able to allow for being able to run lower grade papers and lighter weight papers and ensure that you're going to be able to maximize the ink load and the drying required. The drying technology process starts with the dryer, then continues with applying cool air onto the sheet, and then finally we'll get goes to our term bars that continues that cooling process. So what I'd like to point out by opening up our term bar is you're going to see this is actually quite new and hefty in comparison to our color strain, other color strain generations. What you'll notice is we've added two solar rollers inside of that term bar, and that is what's requiring the added footprint and height of our term bar here that you see. That will continue to cool down the paper before it goes into tower 2. Now, the reason why that is important is we want to ensure that we are cooling that paper down before it goes into the second press to ensure that you're going to get consistent print quality on the front side as well as the back. We also have enabled some additional technologies that we have common within our publishing family that we have really harnessed our proven reliability and success. The first thing are data integrity marks. And those data integrity marks are really ensuring that when you're looking at specific applications, that you're guaranteed that the front side of the sheet is going to match the back side of the sheet. So when you're looking at publications, at books, as well as transaction and business communications, you want to make sure that that is consistent. In addition to that, we've also enabled a waste-free print pause feature and printing on demand. And that, again, continues to afford our customers to be able to minimize paper waste while maximizing productivity because they're able to start putting ink on paper the minute paper is moving through the press, and that first print to the last print is sellable. What I also want to move down to is our new user interface. Our user interface is now in a very large, intuitive new screen that is touch screen, very easy to operate, and really does enable us to provide a lot of operator controls in relation to what an operator can do to define settings and to really ensure maximum productivity of that press. The other thing to point out in this area is a little different from our Solution 6000 family is the fact that we only have one large user interface in this particular area versus what we have in our prior presses. Again, so when we talk about our applications and our capabilities of this new Solution 8000 series, we're bringing new innovation with our print heads, with our inks. We're bringing new innovation with ease of operation to really deliver on those our 4 pillars that are really going to help our customers elevate efficiency and accelerate their growth. We are bringing next level of productivity, more speed of this press. We're bringing, and our existing capabilities, we're bringing and delivering next level quality with our press, with our new piece design, our smaller droplet sizes. We're bringing a new level of sustainability, which are larger print containers, with our waste-free print pause and printing on the RAM. And we're bringing a new level of production automation because, as I mentioned earlier, with the implementation of our spray cleaning and our integrated wet cleaning, we are now reducing the requirements for operator intervention and maintenance. So, in all, we're delivering those 4 key pillars to ensure our customers continue to elevate their efficiency and accelerate growth. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to Jane here, who will help you experience the IX series. Jane?
Thank you, Lucy. And welcome everyone to the VarioPrint iX, our latest sheet-fed innovation, which offers high quality, versatility, and productivity, bringing new innovation to our commercial printers. So how are they doing that? Well, up until now, commercial printers had to choose between high quality and the wide range of medias on one hand versus productivity and productivity and cost efficiency on the other. But today, they can have it all with the VarioPrint iX. With its image quality of 1200 dots per inch and its media range from 60 to 350 GSM, commercial printers can now say yes to basically any application and to produce it at the agreed upon price and turnaround time. Printing it at a rated speed of 312 letter-sized images per minute, 4/4, or 4,500 sheets per minute of 12 by 18 4/4 print. In addition to the VarioPrint iX, we're also showing the Tecnau Stacker 1010, offering you end-to-end finishing. And because you're limiting the amount of operator intervention, you're also maximizing your uptime, which in return is really changing the way commercial printers print today. In front of me, you see a variation of applications, all printed on the VarioPrint iX. First, you see this eye-popping postcard that also includes variable data print, personalized calendars, a wide range of marketing collaterals, brochures, and flyers, direct mail pieces that are using a nice embossment, on-demand books, as well as magazine inserts. And the nice thing about the VarioPrint is because of its sheet-fed technology and its inkjet, it allows you actually to print multimedias in a single application. So where the inkjet takes on the characteristics of that media, you can actually print a cover stock along with a gloss text and really appreciate the solid, smooth fill on this dull text. In addition, using a felt text, so fine line details on the grain of the wood and on the hair of this cow, you can almost feel. Therefore, adding not only a multimedia solution, but also a multi-sensory appeal. So today, let's look at how we produce these postcards. It all begins over on the paper input modules. The VarioPrint iX comes standard with 2 paper input modules with the option to have a 3rd paper input module available for a total capacity of 13,500 sheets. On the first tray, you can actually stack paper from 18 inches long by 12 inches wide, while the 3rd and 4th input trays allow you to have paper ranging from 20 inches long and 13.7 inches wide. The paper input modules come with a moisture control system that allows the paper to stay at a relative humidity, avoiding any wave or curl. In addition, there is a fan unit that allows a fan to blow based on the characteristics of the media in the tray, blowing heavier for heavyweight stocks and blowing at lower speed for lower weight stocks. The paper using that air knife technology is then lifted into position where a vacuum suction takes it into the paper path. As you proceed along the paper path, we enter in what we call our sheet entry system. The sheet entry system, also known as the Sentry system, uses a camera that actually looks at the height of the paper and looks for any waviness or curl or any dog ears that may have caused a potential print head collision. If any of these are noticed, then the paper is ejected from the printer path before it goes into the print module. Moving forward into the print module, you can see that the print head is now in its recessed and capped position. Similar to the ProStream, upon time of print, the print head will then go through what is called a purge and wipe. The purge and wipe will then make sure that the print heads and the nozzles are in optimal print condition. In our technology today, we're using a Kyocera 1200 dots per inch that was custom designed along with our exclusive water-based polymer ink. This is what provides the high quality, along with our color grip, similar to the ProStream, which is dropped on a dot per dot basis. The color grip allows you to immobilize the ink, giving you the polymer pigments to stay high on the page for that color pop, or also to avoid any absorption of that ink into the paper of an uncoated stock. Once paper is printed, it then begins to move into what we call our fixation unit. The first fixation unit consists of a drum, which has both a vacuum suction as well as a hot air impingement that dries most of that water-based ink. In addition, then it moves on to what we call our post-fixation unit. Here, using 290 degrees of a hot steam, it actually melts that polymer pigment into the paper that gives us that color pop on those coated papers. Once the polymer inks are adhered to the paper, they go from that hot steam of 290 degrees into instantly a cooling system, which is at 70 degree temperature, allowing the paper to relax and to lay flat, where it then enters into the second duplex path, where it will go around and be printed on the back side, or in addition, or if it's a simplex page, it will pass directly on to the post-finishing. In this case, we're passing the paper on to the Tecnau Stacker 1010, where those postcards will be cut and stacked and ready for delivery to their final destination. So in summary, the VarioPrint iX provides you productivity, application versatility, cost efficiency, and high print quality, allowing you to have more profits and more business opportunities. And with that, I'd like to now pass it back to Scott Peterson. Scott?
Thank you, Jane, and thanks for that introduction, and thanks for the introduction as well to the VarioPrint iX series. My name is indeed Scott Peterson. I'm the product marketing manager for Tecnau, and I'd like to show you the Stack 1010 Indeed, which was a finishing solution that was originally designed for the predecessor to the iX series, and that's of course the I series from Canon, the VarioPrint I series, the i300 and the i200. Tecnau Stack 1010 converts multi-up sheets as large as the iX series' max sheet input size of 13.78 by 20 inches down to final page sizes. Stack 1010 cuts, trims, and outputs stacks onto an exit conveyor for easy removal. It converts press sheets into postcards, books, manuals, brochures, letters, transactional documents, and more, into finished documents as small as 4 by 5 inches without guillotine cutting, and also offers the job integrity advantages of inline finishing. So let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Stack 1010 was developed at the request of Canon, who came to us looking for inline finishing for the VarioPrint I series. Tecnau's resulting family of products are available now not just for the I series, but also for the newer VarioPrint iX series, of course, as we just were talking about, as well as the VarioPrint 6000 Titan family of monochrome presses. That Tecnau family of finishing products includes not just the Stack 1010, but also the TC1530C dynamic perforator and the TC1530P dynamic punch. Ugo has just been opening the doors of the 1530C dynamic perforator and punch. So we're going to focus on the Stack 1010 in a little bit, but first let's take a look at the perf and the punch. Now in a total configuration, we'd be receiving sheets from the CANON high capacity stacker on into the alignment section, as you see here, of the TC1530 dynamic perf. This happens to be a TC1530C2 dynamic perf, our most capable model, as delineated by the two cross-perfing cylinders, as you see right there in the middle of the picture, the two big metal boxes. And then we go from there into the four vertical perf knives. So this lets us do things like creating simple remit perfs parallel to the 8.5-inch edge of a letter, or creating tear out workbook perfs parallel to the 11-inch edge of that 8.5 by 11, or maybe creating response cards from a document with perfs in both directions. All these are triggered dynamically page by page from a 2D data matrix. Scoring and creasing is available on that perforator as well. We've just been focusing there at the end on the TC1530P dynamic punch, where we can do standard 3-hole punch. We can do binding punches such as wire-o or coil bind punches. We can do custom punches, and even corner punches for things like automated machine counting of ballots and that sort of thing. So that was a quick overview for the dynamic perf and punch. Now let's move on to our focus, the Stack 1010. Now, Ugo is showing us here some of the control panel functions, highlighting some user-friendly technology that's been built into the Stack 1010. First of all, we're seeing Ugo right now designing a new job. So it's easy to go in there with a great graphic interface and input the job criteria for a new job as new jobs happen to come up in the operation. Of course, when we initially install the machine, we'll help you set up any existing jobs that you've already got on hand. We're also going to see Ugo in a moment selecting from a panel of previously defined jobs, easily moving from one job to another. Just let him kind of go through his thing here. You can see there on the menu on the right-hand side of the screen, various choices, including a maintenance choice. That's where Ugo's going right now, where we can offer IoT capability here with possibility of remote monitoring if that's good for your operation. Here he's looking at some parts usage for varying parts and seeing if something might be inclined to fail sometime soon based on known history. And then there was, of course, a production data section as well that gives you measurements of certain management criteria and productivity. So let's see the Stack 1010 in action. Here we see the alignment section there on the right, running the beautiful postcards that Jane's just been showing us the operation on the VarioPrint iX3200. And these, of course, are 4-up 350 GSM gloss-coated sheets. So a challenging application, but handled well by the Stack 1010. Here you see on the left-hand side of the screen the Cutter C10 module with its 3 cartridges. The first 2 on the left are cross-cutting cartridges. And the third one from the left is a side trimming and gutter cartridge. These are easily swapped in and out by an operator in under a minute if the customer needs to change from for instance, a gutter cut application to a non-gutter application. Some changes can be done just from the user panel. Then we saw the sheets going from the Cutter C10 to the Stacker S10, where they glided onto a stack to form nice, easy, stacks on the conveyor. Sheets can be delivered to the conveyor one at a time, one book block at a time, or individually offset within the job, as we've just seen there, or delivered when the operator program stack height is reached or the maximum stack height is reached. Here we're seeing a close-up on some of those beautifully printed cards by the iX3200. I wish I could see these in person. They look great. So what are some of the key takeaways here? The Stack 1010 eliminates offline guillotining, of course, freeing up operators. That's the bottom line of where the product is going to cost justify itself. But what are some of the other features of the product that make it easy to operate? Again, we just talked about the cartridge-based cutter for easy job changeovers. The one thing to highlight here also is the compatibility of the Stack 1010 to the VarioPrint iX. We match the speed of the press, never slow it down. It's available in an offline configuration as well, by the way. And in an offline configuration with a Borg BSF feeder, the line can run up to 50% faster for some applications, possibly creating some offline efficiencies if you're interested in that kind of environment. Again, Stack 1010 runs the same sheets as the press, so maximum sheet size to minimum sheet size, maximum basis weight, minimum basis weight, coded and uncoded. Will run whatever the press is running. Impositions from 1 up to 8 up are supported. Of course, we've seen the powerful control panel, which is a tool for both the operator and for management. We took a look earlier at the TC 1530 dynamic perf and punch, which can be available in the same finishing line, doing bidirectional perfing as well as scoring and creasing. All of these products are field upgradable, from the most basic models to the most complex. So if you start off with a basic model, because that's all your needs are initially, it's easy to then go in at a later point in time and upgrade the model to the most complex model if that's what you're looking for, or a mid-level model, whatever makes sense for your operation and your applications, without having to pay major penalties. You'll be able to do this in the field and give yourself a viable solution for the future with good investment protection. One very important point that I'd like to conclude with is all of these products we've looked at, the Stack 1010, the TC 1530 dynamic perf and punch, all have been tested across the full range of applications at Canon's facility in Venlo in the Netherlands. From the range of sheet sizes, the range of basis weights, heavy ink coverages. Canon put the Stack 1010 through its paces to be able to provide a reliable product to you, the customer, that when you get it in your operation, you know it's going to work, you know it's going to do what the printer is capable of doing. It will play right along and give you a good end-to-end finishing solution. So we appreciate that seal of approval from Canon. That's sort of an emblem of the long-standing partnership between the two companies. So I think that's really about all we've got to see here on the Stack 1010. So at this time, I'd like to hand it over to Pete Dolphus, and Pete's going to introduce you to our Libra 800 bookmaking system. Pete.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Canon, for presenting your innovative printing solutions, and welcome back to the Tecnau Experience Center. I'm Pete Dolphus. I'll be taking you through the Libra 800, where you'll now see the ColorStream 8000 rolls being finished into softcover, perfect bound, and trim books using the unique Libra 800 bookmaking system. Let me give you a general overview of the line as we walk you around the system before we really get into the live demonstration. Libra 800 is an extremely flexible platform for book printers, allowing them to produce short run and even unique books of one. By book of one, we mean that each book can be different from the next in spine length, spine to face dimension, and spine thickness. The system is fully automated and makes on-the-fly adjustments for the book parameters, with all settings being driven and verified by data matrix codes. So an operator is not required for format changeovers or adjustments. It can produce 800 softcover perfect bound books per hour with spine thicknesses from 2 millimeters to 60 millimeters. Where bookbinding is normally a time-consuming and labor-intensive process with several independent steps requiring multiple operators, the Libra 800 integrates these steps into a single production process, and with its automation, can even be managed by a single operator. Not only would the overall process time be significantly reduced, but due to the flexibility of the system, you no longer have to batch production runs by book size, book thickness, or even book paper type, and instead can process them on a customer by customer or job by job basis. Let's go a little deeper into the details and options of the Libra 800 line. The Libra 800 is very customizable to your specific needs and applications. What we're showing here today is just one configuration option for the line, but there are many. Tecnau's unique multi-channel input uses either our stream folder for plow folded book blocks, our 2-up slip merge module, or a manual feeding station, or any pair of these at the same time. With slip merge, the web cutting system has the capability of precise page separation, allowing books to be paginated in multiples of 2 instead of multiples of 4, limiting the number of blank sides in a finished book to a single side of a single sheet of paper. The stream folder input option excels with lightweight substrates such as groundwood, financial, and even Bible paper, providing flat, well-registered, and stable book blocks ready to enter the binding process. The Libra 800 is a 4-clamp carousel binder that has adhesive options of PUR, traditional EVA hot melt, and even a new hybrid adhesive called metallocene, which is a PUR-like hot melt adhesive. The binder can be configured to use multiple adhesives for different jobs, and switching from one type to another is very fast and easy with the new adhesive changeover system. During the binding process, adhesive is applied to both the spine and the book at the courtesy score positions, resulting in a high-quality finished book product. Another great benefit of the Libra 800 is that it's capable of producing books with 4 different types of covers, all from the same binding solution. It can do traditional soft cover perfect binding, a gate-folded soft cover option that simulates a case-bound book jacket, a no-cover option with the new metallocene adhesive I mentioned, and the most unique cover option of all, the false cover for case-bound books. With the false cover option, a combined end sheet is custom manufactured for each individual book block and then applied by the binder. With the optional dual channel cover feeder, covers for each input are kept uniquely sequenced and separated, so it does not matter to the system what the ratio of books from each input source are. Covers are also pre-trimmed and scored as they are fed to the binder. This allows the system to place the cover more accurately onto the book and provide a higher quality finished book. The book blocks pass through a cooling tower on the way from the binder to the trimmer, allowing about 12 minutes of adhesive setup time before the book is handled again. Next, the books enter the Libra variable trimmer for final book trimming. In the first station, the face trim is performed. Then the book advances to the second station where parallel head and foot knives finish the spine height of the books. As the trimmed books exit the Libra VT, there is also an option for multi-level conveyor that can sort books by size, by order number, by input channel, etc. to make the pick-pack process more efficient. Books are now finished and ready to be packed and shipped. You now see the system running, and I'll walk you through the various sections we just reviewed. The normally interlocked safety covers are open in order to allow a good view of what's happening inside the system. Starting at the front, the system starts with the center shaft drive U10 unwinder. It has an integrated outfeed dancer assembly for smooth and precise feeding of the CANON printed 2-up web. As the web exits the unwinder, it passes through vacuum loops and into a center slitting module, then through a divided vacuum box that controls the web flow, now that it's essentially 2 separate mini webs. After that, it's processed by an angled bar slit merge assembly. The angled bars merge the 2 webs into alignment, and you'll notice the webs are managed independently before coming together at the rotary cutter knife assembly. The reason for this is because the Libra 800, being a book of one solution, has the capability to advance either one side of the web, which would be 2 book pages, or both sides of the web, 4 book pages, to limit the number of blank sheets in each book, reducing paper waste and click charges. The Libra 800 system can also be configured with a stream folder instead of the slit merge in order to construct the book blocks from 2-up, 3-up, and 4-up plow folded signatures instead of merged cut sheets. The momentary pause you see is the break between books as the book assembly module delivers the completed book blocks to the binder in-feed raceway. Book pages or signatures are jogged as they're being assembled, then delivered to the binder in-feed, where they're jogged again in both directions, making sure the pages are well registered and the book blocks are square. Let's zoom in for a closer look, and you'll actually get a better understanding of how the books are constructed. You can see the page registration and the cut accuracy of the system. So here you see the merged pages coming together into the assembly station. You see the jogging taking place, and then it delivers them to the binder raceway. So every time it delivers, it's a completed book block that it's advancing. The mechanical pressing station ensures that the book blocks are nice and flat before advancing them, which is especially important when running the plow folder in feed, since the signatures have folds on one or both sides. Between the assembly station and the in-feed to the carousel binder, the side conveyor you saw in the overview segment is a book reject station. If the book, as it's being assembled, has any pages out of sequence from reading the 2D data matrix, or any blank pages in it, it will be diverted here for rejection or rework. In looking at the book blocks, take note of the excellent cut tolerance and page registration achieved by the system. The next device handles book thickness verification and rotation if necessary, for proper spine orientation into the binding clamp. From here, the book block is clamped, translated from a horizontal to vertical orientation so it can be transferred into the pneumatic binding clamp. The The binder clamp opens fully for each book block, ensuring a smooth entry of the book block into the clamp, even if some page curl is present. The spine plate of the clamp assembly also vibrates to do additional jogging of the critical spine side before the book block is processed through the binder. Once the book block is clamped, it's held securely until the binding process is completed. The book passes over the spine milling assembly, which grinds the sheets or signatures so they are even on the spine edge and more receptive to the binding adhesive. Adhesive options on the Libra 800 are traditional EVA hot melt, PUR polyurethane, or a metallocene, which is a newer generation adhesive that has similar characteristics to PUR with respect to bind strength and heat resistance, but is actually a hot melt adhesive. It also enables the Libra 800 to perform a coverless perfect bind as another configuration option. Here you see the adhesive being applied to the book block. Covers are pre-trimmed to within 5 millimeters of the raw book block height, as this allows for more accurate cover positioning onto the book blocks. As they are fed from the cover feeder to the binder, they are also cross-scored for the spine and courtesy cover scores. This results in a better quality bind on the book, and if using UV coated instead of laminated covers, prevents cracking of the UV coating. The system has an option for a dual channel cover feeder like you see here. With the multiple input options, this setup allows true book of one production for work coming from 2 input rolls or a single input roll and a manual feed book block station. All the covers in channel A are sequenced for the work coming from the channel A input, while all the covers in the channel B feeder are sequenced for the work coming from the channel B input. With this configuration, it does not matter the mix of how many books come from a single input source versus the other input source, as the covers are kept separate and the 2D tells the cover feeder from which input channel the book block was generated, so it can feed the cover from the corresponding cover channel. From the binder, an articulated hand receives the book block from the carousel and gently places it onto the conveyor. This method is used to ensure a book block is not dropped on its spine, which can twist it before the adhesive has had a chance to set up. From here, the books pass through the Helix cooling tower, which provides for 12 minutes of adhesive setup time before the book is handled again. As the books exit the cooling tower, their barcode is scanned so the Libra VT, which stands for variable trimmer, can set up to do the 3-knife finish trim on the books. The first station is the face trim, after which the book advances to the second station, where 2 parallel knives perform the head and foot trim on the book. With the gate folded cover option, where the folds of the cover need to extend beyond the face cut of the finished book to have the look of a case-bound book, a special fly trimmer is integrated into the line for the face trim. As the book enters the trimmer, the front and back cover flaps are guided away from the face of the book block, so the face cut can be performed without cutting through the folds, then laid back down into position and the book exits the trimmer. What you now have is a bound and trimmed finished book block ready for distribution. The Tecnau Libra 800 allows you to fulfill the true POD production concept. No stock, no spoilage, no need for out-of-print titles due to low demand. You can print in the order you want because the system automatically handles size changes, so you can print by customer, by publisher, by area, or by shipping address. Basically in any sequence that makes your sorting and distribution process more efficient. The Libra 800 is the solution for reducing turnaround time, improving finished book quality, all while making the book production process more efficient. Tecnau's Libra 800 system is extremely flexible, from the various input options to the types of adhesives it can support, as well as the types of covers it can manufacture and process. Each Libra 800, although built on the same principles and main modules, is slightly different and customized to fit your individual requirements. The system also has IoT connectivity, enabling remote access for online service support, remote diagnostics, production data capture and reporting, as well as other benefits. Thank you for joining us today to explore the Libra 800 and what it can do for your production environment. Combined with the CANON high-speed color stream press, you can see what a powerful and productive combination they can be. I'm going to turn things back over to Morten for a question and answer session.
I must admit that like in the morning session from Europe, I am again astonished about all the fantastic capabilities that CANON and Tecnau has showed during this session here. So warm congratulations to all the participants for doing this fantastic job. Jeff, what do you think of it?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. You certainly can see all the efforts and innovation that both Tecnau and CANON have put into solutions for commercial printers. It's quite amazing You look at where we were 5 years ago to where we are today, the amount of solutions, productivity, the print quality, the capabilities of both the printer and the pre and post processing have just advanced tremendously.
For those who might have a cut sheet based workflow already, and you look into all these fantastic opportunities with the role based printing, how is there a need for a cut stacker in that workflow, or how does that in your opinion plays a role when, I mean, if you're changing into this new wonderful world, what are the options?
Well, if you're in the cut sheet world and you're used to finishing your product that way, we have obviously the 1010 you saw that allows you to take those sheets and either inline or near line, take those sheets and turn them into the finished product. So the key here is to give the customer the ability to have an integrated solution if he chooses, an offline solution if it best fits that way. But the real value is, of course, the productivity is critical. And when a customer looks at the environment he's in today, and he's looking to make that change to cut sheet digital, he's looking at it in a process. And the idea here is that we can provide him a solution that not only provides productivity that matches the printer, but also you have consistent quality. And for the commercial print environment, that's extremely critical.
Fantastic. A question to the Canon team. I must admit, I have a few questions, and the first thing that I was a little bit surprised about was that you have changed roles. I normally see Jeff in front of the iX series, the I series, and now you have been. Is it an upgrade, Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff, we moved some roles around here. Morton, the goal was to build some redundancy, but at the same time, we look at the platform and where the various platforms were. There was a great opportunity to move some people and take advantage of skill sets as they bridge across both sheet fed and continuous feed.
And that, of course, leads me to a question that is, I think, a very important question these days. I mean, we've been talking, I actually read that the first inkjet devices were invented back in the 50s, and that actually came as a surprise to me. But where we are today, do you think that we are actually in a position now where litho printers can, convert their analog production setup to a full digital inkjet setup?
Yeah, if there's ever been a time, the time is now. And we know that the various technologies, they all have their sweet spot. None of them are going away. But when you look at litho and you look at the challenges there, right? The faster turn times, just a requirement for products to be reduce cost, the efficiency, run lengths become critical, and staffing becomes a challenge in the older technology. And you look at the new digital technology, and there's a tremendous opportunity to move applications very, very cost effectively and competitively at the right run lengths onto digital technology and get all the advantages, which really are productivity, uptime, the speed, and speed to market.
I have a final question because we're running out a little bit of time, and that also goes to you guys from Canon. Let's say that you are a printer and you have like some kind of workflow already. It can be toner based, can be analog, can be anything basically. Is it easy to take one of the presses you have presented today and integrate that into an existing workflow?
Oh, yes, absolutely. If you're not familiar, my role for the last 20 years in the organization I ran the professional service and software team. And we don't look at just a printer. And you've heard that today. That's been the consistent message. Tecnau and Canon working together to build a solution. And if you do not take into account the overall solution end to end, which includes the pre-press work and feedback into an MIS system, what that all looks like to gain all of the efficiencies, then you really just missed the greatest opportunity. So without a doubt, it's easy to do. We built the tool sets to do it. We have the integration points already, and it's something that can easily be leveraged.
Fantastic. And I think that maybe the best takeaway from this 1.5 hour together is that I think it opens up for even more questions and opportunities there. And I encourage all the attendees to reach out to Tecnau and Canon. I'm sure they will give you way more information than you have already got today. So Jeff, do you want to say goodbye to your audience, or should we just turn off the cameras?
No, absolutely. First of all, thank you for being our moderator today. You've done a great job. I'd like to thank everyone for attending today. Hopefully we've given you a lot of information that makes you think about how you do things in the commercial environment today. Also, I'd like to thank the Canon team, Ed, everyone for the efforts that they've put in to make this happen, and all the people behind the scenes. Even though it's been pretty seamless here, there's been a lot of work and effort that's been put into this. We appreciate everyone's time and efforts, and we look forward to seeing you in person soon. But these virtual events are the way to do it today. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.
And what about you, Ed? Are you already in your garden, or can you also say goodbye?
No, the golf clubs are not in the back of the car, Morten. So we would love to say goodbye. And first of all, thank you again to our partners at Tecnau. Just an amazing partnership, and we always work with our customers' best interest in mind, everything we do. And Jeff, thank you so much for the hospitality and the opportunity. Morten, thank you for leading this event. And the big message to our customers or potential customers, come on down. The facility is open. We're very cautious now, and we are ready to change your business. And that's what inkjet and inkjet technology is all about. And there is no better time than right now to embrace what's happening in the market and leverage all of the technology for what the future can be. Thank you.
And let that be the last words of today's session. As you know, this event is called Tecnau Spring Forward, and I think it's a wonderful name because it's just like spring is like jumping. It's forward-looking, and there's more events on the radar similar to this one. So I'm pretty sure that if you have appetite for more knowledge and information, stay tuned for the next sessions here on Tecnau's fantastic Spring Forward. So to everybody, thank you very much for attending. And as I also want to say, we have films and articles on English TV and English News about both Tecnau and Canon. So feel free to go and visit us. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day ahead of you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.